What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another podcast episode with Makaiza. Mind is Matter. And if you haven't been on this channel yet, this is your first time, second time maybe, let me formally introduce you to some of the things that we do here. Well, quickly, one, mind is matter simply means what we dwell in our minds, how we till our minds is what becomes matter, right? What we imagine, what we think about, what we feel, all the things that dwell in our imagination. Our imagination is not just one thing. It's not just one thing, which is seeing, right? Our imagination is feeling. Our imagination is smelling. Our imagination is hearing, seeing, all of the senses, right? Just taking place within our minds. That's why I decided to call this channel Mind is Matter. Now, do we recognize that there is a difference between the mind, the body, and the soul? 100%. But now that you've heard the former, I hope that you understand why it's called Mind is Matter. So, as the souls that we are, another topic that we discuss is how energy, how the immaterial is what becomes material. Now, if this is not a topic that you're aware of, not a topic that you've researched or looked into ever, if not recently, then I would like to introduce you to that as well. So let's talk about this for a moment, right? Energy. Energy, you can't see necessarily, right? We see the lights turned on, but we don't necessarily see the energy that's turning on the light itself. Now, there's cords, there are things that are connecting all this energy together that, boom, put the light there. However, we know now that that's unnecessary, right? With solar power. I have solar powered lights sitting right outside in my backyard, stick right in the ground, no cords necessary. I can pick them up and move them anytime I want, right? But I still can't see that solar energy that's being put into, right, that little plate that's absorbing it, that's going to then transmit it through a wire, which I still can't see that energy. That's showing the light now flashing from the bulb that's within the light itself. So energy isn't something that we naturally see with our eyes. Now, is it something in the past that we might have been able to see, or something in the future that we might be able to see? Sure, anything's possible. I believe that, yes, in the past we were able to actually see certain energies. But when someone sees a ghost, or if someone sees some sort of paranormal activity, that is a form of seeing energy. If I'm looking at you and you're looking at me and I'm looking at these things are also energy. So these are energy that have formed into matter, right? The things that we see. The ghosts, I honestly, are ghosts. A ghost might actually be matter. Yeah, it might be drawing from the particles in the air or something to form itself. Who knows, right? So I'll leave that out for now. But when it comes down to the things that we see, we can taste, touch, feel, and smell. Those items right there, these things, these are energy that's manifested into matter, into finite particles. Waves that have collapsed into certain particles, and these particles are now vibrating at a particular speed to keep this particular set of matter in its form, right? Now, matter can be manipulated. We can manipulate matter more easily than we can fathom right now, just because of who we have been guided by in this society up until this point. Now, moving on. We can't see energy, right? Itch my back. We can't see energy. And what energy just so happens to be is a living thing. Energy is alive. Energy is totally alive. Energy is so alive that if you simply open up your heart and you allow your heart to expand, You can feel a rush, a flow of some sort of living thing. You can feel that it's alive. You can feel that it has an intelligence, that it's not just movement. It's not just a chair, right? It's not just, something that's just here. It is a living entity. And the more that we're able to harness energy, because we have an unlimited ability to harness an unlimited amount of energy. That's what we're here to do. There's more synapses that occur in your brain. There's more cells and atoms in your body. And there are grains of sand on the earth, stars in the sky, planets in the galaxy, whatever. And that right there is so incredible. When we learn more about ourselves, this is just a sidebar. When we learn more about what we are, who we are, we're able to have more confidence in the things that we do and the decisions we make. We have to have confidence in our choices. And one way I've learned to gain that confidence is simply by knowing who you are. So back to what we were talking about with energy. And as this living entity that energy is, it is speaking to you all the time. If I told you to feel the space that's around your head, to feel the space that is around your head, you can feel it, can you not? Yep, I can. And now, as I'm talking, I can feel this space, this energy here. And I can feel that this energy isn't something that's just there. It is a wave that is awaiting to be collapsed into a particle, just like everything is. And that's why we're able to even manifest things. That's why the law of attraction, the law of assumption work. Because when we have wavelengths that are traveling without any influence, they are chaos. With influence, they are deliberately distorted into particular manifestations, particular things that were intended. Meaning, if you just allow your mind to run crazy and to think certain thoughts and to have thoughts about yourself that are inconducive to a life that is happy and positive and joyful, your life will become more chaotic by way of the fact that everything around us is chaos. When you drive down the street, you run into so many energies. Your field, because it's shrunk down due to the fact that you probably haven't practiced opening your heart too much. And if you have, I'm not talking to you, take what resonates, right? Leave the rest. But because your heart and your chakras are imbalanced due to blockages, past traumas that you haven't gotten over, forgiveness that you haven't gone through, grieving you haven't allowed yourself to feel, all these things, you have a shrunken aura. And due to that shrunken aura, as these feelings and all these different energies start to enter into your field, they come so close to you that you feel them and you think it's all you. So now you go out into the world with this chaotic form of energy and it's not being managed, right? It's not being managed by yourself. It's just happening. And so now your body starts to love this chaos emotion because it becomes addicted to it. Anything that we do for a long period of time becomes a habit, and any habit that we can't stop on our own is an addiction, right? And this thing becomes an addiction in our body. And then that addiction of the body becomes an addiction of the mind. So then the thoughts in the body start to vibrate on this wavelength of things don't go right. You follow what I'm saying there? So if you didn't, rewind maybe 2-3 minutes or so and listen to it again. You should get it the second time for sure. But with all that, there's a level of management that has to be into place. And so that's what I meant by the first thing I said, which is why I explained that. So when one is managing the energy, when one is able to manage and open the heart and heal the chakras and feel the ever-ending, the never-ending love and bliss and joy and compassion and excitement that the source that created you has for you and for itself, because you are it, and for everything else, that helps in the creation process, because now the aura has grown. The negative vibes or the energy that's chaotic doesn't necessarily get so close now. There's a barrier. There's some sort of force field that can absorb that energy and transmute it into something else. And this doesn't mean that, I'm saying I'm perfect, or anyone who's explaining these types of things thinks that they're perfect. It's just having the experiences and being so conscious and so aware, doing our best to do it 100% of the time. It becomes something that you just notice. You just notice how things work. You just notice how the body works, how the mind works. And then you want to learn more about it. So you start to research it. And then you realize, oh my God, what I've been learning about it on a level just in myself actually is true on a scientific level. And then you say, damn, what's the science really saying? Okay, the science is now giving me more information about what I thought I already knew enough about. And now I can go even deeper on that. And the deeper that you end up going, the more fulfillment that you have, because the more open you become, the more susceptible to vulnerability that you are, which is exactly what's necessary to get everything that it is that you desire. And it's okay to have these desires. It's okay to want love. It's okay to want compassion. It's okay to want an exciting and joyful and more easygoing life than a dreadful trench digging, trash dumping life. Like, it's okay. And it's okay to want the other one too, right? So don't be ashamed of what you want, and allow energy to be its conscious self around you. Allow energy to be its conscious self around you. Be conscious with the energy and allow it to be conscious with you as well. Because the more energy that you can harness, and again, energy isn't tapped out. You have an unlimited amount of inability to harness this energy. It is alive, and it listens, and it talks, and it wants to be, and it's communicating constantly. It's like someone calling you on the phone all the time. Like, I'm always calling you. Like, all you got to do is pick up the phone. All you got to do is pick up the phone, and then you're going to hear the exact message that you've been asking to hear, right? Pick up the phone by opening up your energy, opening up your heart, opening up to the energy around you. Try to feel the space around you, right? As you're sitting, if you're watching television or eating a meal, try to feel the space around you. Feel what that feels like, because that also gives you the understanding that you are not your feelings. You're not what you feel. And then you start to understand, and this is going very deep for some people. So if this isn't resonating with you right now, don't worry. This is maybe planting a seed or something. But even deeper, you start to understand, you start to resonate with, hey, remember when I was sitting eating dinner and I felt that something was not me, but it was in contact with me and affecting me? If you're in a situation with a person and you're not even speaking to this person, but you feel some type of energy shift, and you're like, why do I feel like all of a sudden? You're like, oh wait, remember when I was sitting down, I felt something, and it wasn't me, but I felt like it might have been me, it could have been me, but it wasn't. Then you start to realize other people's energy actually does affect how you feel. And you don't realize that shit until you actually start to notice it. So that's just one practice that you can do to see how other people's energy affects you and to not allow it to affect you. Because once you know something, you're not then running that program anymore. You are now above the program, the observer of the program, and you can now tweak the program to be what you want instead of what it has been. Now, this has been a long, pretty deep video. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Makaiza, Direct Sunlight, and Mind is Matter, baby. This has been, I guess, an introduction into a little bit of Mind is Matter. If this is your first time, once again, on the channel, I appreciate the likes and subscribes. Either way it goes, just know that as far as you can take yourself in terms of understanding energy and things that you cannot see, you will become more of a master of this realm, because this realm is all created out of things that were unseen to begin with. This entire realm, this entire existence was created out of things that were not yet seen. And everything that is created is something that was not yet seen that is now seen. Your phone, this pillow, which had my cord on it. This pillow, right? This shirt, this hair, that's, you know, cute, but it's not real hair. So like, who came up with this? Everything here, this pen, like everything came from inside of the imagination and then became a reality. So keep your imagination alive and strong. Keep yourself alive and well. I love you more than you know. And I'll see you guys very soon. Mwah.